What a day. I am so unprepared. I don't even have a hat to block the glare of the head. So you're just going to have to suffer through it. My apologies. So what happened was my son calls like half hour before he's supposed to go on the air. And he's like, hey, you mind if we drop by for a little bit? And of course, with the grandbaby. And we're like, yes, of course you can come by. And so anyway, that got the show delayed and one thing led to another and they just left. And so here we are. We are live. It is Aaron live. I am Aaron and I'm alive. And it is September 15th, 2024. I can't even freaking believe it. Someday you're going to tune in and I'm just going to be like, I'm halfway there as it is. Okay. So anyway, what have I got? I got some stuff today. We're going to take a look at a few surprises, give you a little updates on things and how they're going campaign wise. And then we'll do our regular routine. I've got some interesting videos to share with you today that will surely spark conversation. But speaking of sparking conversation, let's jump right in and just see who's joining us this fine afternoon. Barbara Paulson's here. She says, "Hail, Aaron. She didn't say hail, Aaron. She said, "Hail, Aaron. Looking forward to the show." Yeah. Dan, the pizza man, Genovese is here. Leg Kick is here because Leg Kick is almost always here. Creative Faye. Okay, Aaron, I know you're late, but you better make it good. God, no, there's even more pressure. Bretsky the Great is here. Pastmaster Dan, of course, joining us. The Geek Easy is here. Marcus Killigrew, purveyor of all things pop culture knowledge. He says back to 7 p.m. No, I want to go earlier, but as I gave you the explanation, sometimes life gets in the way. And whenever there's a grandbaby coming over, you make room. NPC Oasis is here. Says Godlike 2 launches tonight. I thought that was yesterday, and then I was looking and I didn't see a stream anyplace. So I guess Godlike 2 is launching tonight. So you guys want to tune in for that whenever it is. And yeah, Stealth X5 is here. Citizen Ronan, when people get old, they usually have trouble making up their mind. Should I have the pudding or the Jell-O? I will always go for pudding, chocolate pudding. And Creative Faye wants to know, of course, how can you have your pudding if you don't eat your meat? That is, of course, a reference to one of the greatest albums of all time from Pink Floyd, The Wall. Anti-Entity is here. Geek Easy says, go Steelers. I have not even tuned in. I don't even know what's going on. I know that Cincinnati and Kansas City were in a bit of a dogfight, and that's the last I checked. Major Corn Dog's joining us. Yeah, let's see who else. Stippling Vaughn, there he is. Yeah, let's see who else we got. Quoth the Raven, Lewis Brightwater joining us. I half expect every time he's joining us to say, "I got to go make my dinner. I'll be right back." Yeah, let's see here. Richie Dupe is joining us. Let's see. Marcus Killer, of course, he stuck it out, waiting for the late arrival, and here we are. And it's well worth the wait, gosh darn it. So much fun stuff going to happen on this very show in just minutes. Geek Avenger says, go with the Yul Brenner look, Aaron. Don't fight it. Well, it's not like I've been hiding it. It's this glare right there that I keep thinking, is that annoying? I don't know. So anyway, let's see. Joanna A says, family first, hold every second with that grandbaby. I got stuck holding the dog because the dog wouldn't stop jumping up and down and barking at the new person in the house. So I had to hold the dog while everybody else got to hold the baby. Hooray for me. I did squeeze his cheeks once or twice, though. Geeky says, put the kid on the show. It would be more entertaining. Would it be more entertaining than this, though? Probably not. Okay, let's see here. As we roll along, there's Gary Bruce. Strange that Gary would be here as well as his alter ego, but I guess they're both here. Richie Dupe says, I'm banned from Ethan's channel. I can't back book. I can't see. I can't back a book. I can't see. I understand. Robert Doan's Pills is here. Ms. Stippling, Aaron, get some matte setting spray for your glare spot. Well, you can bump around and go back and forth, yeah, I just screwed this whole day up. But you know what? Grandbaby. Stealth X5 for $2 says, hello, thank you. Stealth, greatly appreciate your $2 greetings whenever I can get them. Thank you very much. All right, so let's give a little bit of update here. Actually, let's do this first because this is kind of interesting. If I can find my video intro. There it is.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Now, I don't have anything to eat, but somebody sent me this anonymously, and I gotta figure it's gotta be good old what's her name? Good old what's her name? My gosh, I am getting old. Summer Savory. This is one of my favorite seasonings, and I couldn't find it for the longest time. And Angela Curry, that's who I was trying to think of. Angela said, check out this website. And I got a couple bottles of it there because I couldn't find it anyplace else. I used to carry it in stores, and it's not there anymore. And then this just showed up in the mail. So I'm thinking that Angela sent this to me, although I don't know for sure because there was no information other than the Summer Savory. So that's my snack for today. Not much of one. I had some brownies, but I ate them all before the show. So what are you going to do? If you guys would take a minute, if you're new here, to hit the like and subscribe, help me grow this channel and do amazing things in the future. I'd appreciate it very much. Okay, so let's take a look. I guess maybe the faster I get through the show, the faster you guys can get over to Ethan's channel and for the big launch. But let's take a look at the Frazetta for today. This one is kind of interesting. Not that they're not all interesting, but this one's kind of interesting. And we'll talk about this in a second. But watch your monitors, please. So what's interesting about this particular Death Dealer painting is, so Frazetta painted it. It was used as a book cover in the Jim Silk book series that Jim Silk was writing, of course, about the character. And then, of course, Frank was providing the covers for it. And so that was Death Dealer 3. That was the third Death Dealer painting. We've already looked at the first two in previous weeks. But he didn't like it, which is not unusual for Frazetta. He went back and repainted quite a few of his paintings. But this one, he thought he looked weak and submissive. And he wanted to come back and repaint him to look more menacing. And so that's what the repaint was. The interesting thing was he repainted it that same year in 1987. So he didn't wait long to go back in and repaint it. It's my least favorite of the Death Dealer paintings. So maybe he was onto something. It's a bit quiet. The repaint feels a bit rushed, even though I like the intensity of it more and the pose is a little bit better. But it's not as detailed as the original. So it kind of felt like maybe he was like painting it to sort of make a point, but not really all that concerned about being a, one of his great paintings or finished paintings. It seemed a little bit looser than, well, it was definitely looser than a lot of what he normally did. But there you go. That's kind of the story of Death Dealer 3. Of course, next week we'll be taking a look at Death Dealer 4. So you don't want to miss that. Okay. So a couple of things here before we get into the meat of the show. I just reached out to my printer rep, to find out if Kit Carter had gone to press as scheduled on September 9th, I believe it was, 8th or 9th. And this was on Friday that I reached out to her, and she said she'd check and get back to me. So I'm expecting to hear something on Monday. So if you backed Kit Carter, you will get an update on Monday letting you know, did the printer hit their mark, or if they're running late or whatever. Because the ship date to me is supposed to be the 18th. And the fact that they have to bind these books, they have the tipped in art gallery section in the hardcover, and then they have to bind the hardcover and the soft covers, so that's going to take a week. So I'm hoping that they got printed close to when it was supposed to get printed, so there won't be any real delays. The book shipping out to me, and then me shipping out to you. So that's about all we've got on the Kit Carter update at this point. Now, what's up with Wraith of God 3? Wraith of God 3 will be launching next week sometime. Not this coming week, but next week, like the week of the 23rd. I haven't set a date yet. I haven't set up the campaign. I'm just finishing the final color touches on the third Wraith of God cover. So there'll be 4 covers. I have a guest artist that did a painted cover, and so there's going to be 4 covers available. And we've got some other fun things that are going to be part of the campaign that we will be, we'll share with you when the campaign opens. And I've also got my trailers done, thanks to the amazing Phil Diaz. He did a I was in a bind because the guy that I normally get to do my trailers, he usually takes 6 weeks to 2 months. And I need this in a couple of weeks. And Phil had showed me a trailer that he had done for his campaign. It was really good. And I went, well, that looks as good as the ones I'm paying, big money for. So I said, can you do something like this for me and, get it turned around in 2 weeks? He said, sure. So, and he did it in less than a week. So it's a really cool video. I really like the trailer, but I'm not going to show you yet because it has some artwork in it that I'm not going to reveal until the campaign opens. So the trailer and, the extra painted cover and all those things will be revealed on the campaign page when it goes live. And of course, I will keep you guys updated on that. One of the things that's not going to be part of the campaign, of this campaign, but is looking at something I'm looking at in the future, is this. Let me show you this real quickly. I think you guys will dig this. So you see these pieces there in this. What are you looking at? You're asking yourself. Look, doggone it. Here we go. It's a little bit on the dark side there. That's my chair. We don't want to see that. There we go. Okay, see this black figure right there that you can't hardly see because it's black? This is a Wraith of God bust. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to, maybe it'll show up better in this camera here. All right. Yeah. So as you can see, he's headless and he's handless. Okay. So what happens is we've got this little tombstone that says Wraith of God on it. He sets on like this. Right. And then there's a little stand here. None of this obviously is glued yet because I've got to finish painting it before I can glue it. Please excuse my dog annoying me. He's been doing all day. So there we go. So it sits there like this, right? Now you're saying, okay, but Aaron, do we have hands and heads? Here's the head. Okay, you can probably see the eyes that have to be painted. And then we got the hands with the guns that have to be, the guns need to be painted and the eyes need to be painted. Then I'll glue it together. Now, what does all this mean? Well, this was basically just sort of a, Shelly got this for me. I think she ordered it like 2 years ago. And from a sculptor who put this together without any sort of direction or anything, just using the comics and stuff. And so I want a different pose. This is kind of just was a present for me, but after looking at everything, I was like, man, you know what? We should do these. And so I want a pose where he's got his guns out and he's leaning forward, a little bit more action oriented. I want the brim of the hat a little bit wider, things like that. So I'm hiring this guy that Shelly hired to do this birthday present for me and to do a new sculpt and then eventually get down to doing, producing a bust. And so the base will be the same, but the pose will be a little bit more dynamic. So that's that's on my list next coming up. So I'm going to be, I got to do the turnaround drawings for the sculptor, and then I'm going to get going on that. And of course, when that gets to a point where I can reveal it and it's all ready to go, I will, we'll show that. That won't be, like I said, in this upcoming campaign, but it'll be something after that. So hopefully, well, definitely will be in 2025. Provided the wrong person doesn't get elected and the whole economy in the United States collapses. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope and pray that doesn't happen. Speaking of which, you guys see that someone was taking shots at Trump again? That poor guy, if he gets elected, he's going to have to survive like 4 years without getting assassinated. It's unbelievable. What a country we live in, huh? Anyway, enough of my political commentary. I'm also still working on the Wraith of God board game, in case you're interested in that. But I wanted to make sure that we had a solid enough audience. When Wraith of God 3 comes out, we will see. We will see how we do with it. And if the audience is still there and strong, then I'll start looking at these other interesting little things that are not the comic, but, toys and things like that. The board game, the bust, that type of thing. So anyway, that's something to keep in mind, put it in the back of your mind. Again, I will keep you updated on everything that's going on with the launch. You'll find a link. Indeed, you shall find a link in the description of this video that will take you to the sign up page, and you can put in your email, and when you do that, that puts you in the early sign up, so you get a free limited edition trading card. There it is right there. The limited edition trading card is going to be Art to Bear's Garbage Man drawing that he did, which I thought was really, really cool. I'll color it, of course, and it will be the exclusive trading card that you get only if you sign up early. So follow the link in the description of this video and sign up early for Wraith of God. Only got a week to go before this thing launches, and then it'll be too late if you miss out. So you don't want to miss out. Okay. I do want to make everybody aware of my website, because I continually update it and expand it, and it has, groovy stuff on it. Now let's take a look at that real quick. I pay good money for this stuff. I got to share it, right? Okay, so here's the website, and this is aaronlopresti.com. Again, you'll find a link in the description of the video. The Kid Card Planet Doom graphic novel is no longer available, that you can get it at least through the campaign. You can order directly from me, however. But that'll be changed out. That'll be Wraith of God 3 here soon. But anyway, the things that have really, that I just added was, look it up here. Art for sale. Art for sale. That's not art to bear. I finally have got some original art listed on the campaign page. These are just covers. I don't have any of my pages yet. These are like covers and pinups. Of course, they all have their prices on them. So what you do is, let's say I've got to order this. I have to have this original. So you don't order through Shopify. What you do is you contact me directly. That way, it's not an inventory item. Like there's only one of them, right? So you order directly through me, and then I take it down off the site. So that's how it works. But anyway, at least I'm starting to get the stuff listed. Pages will start going up next. And so we'll continue to expand the website. And again, you have an Empire Comics page. You have the portfolio page where you can look at, covers that I've published, illustrations, different things, paintings. I got to get my Kit Carter painting up here too. And then sketches, which of course is the largest section because that's probably, over the years, that's what I've done the most of, but only putting the very best of the very best on there. Anyway, so that is my website, aaronlopresti.com. Check it out. There's store items. You can get books and the whole 9 yards. All the books, the prints. And in fact, it's now split up so that you go to the store and you can get all products, or you can do prints. So if you want to order the prints, these are the prints I have available at the moment. There's going to be an exclusive Wraith of God print that's only available on the campaign, at least initially. And then when that campaign closes on Wraith of God 3, then of course it'll move. If there's any left, it'll move into here. But then you can say, well, I just want to look at your books, Aaron. Well, there's the books that I have. So that portfolio should probably be in the print section. But anyway, so as you can see, it's starting to look more and more like I'm a professional and I know what I'm doing. So anyway, check out the early sign up on Wraith of God 3 and check out the website whenever you're feeling bored and want to look at some artwork. Wizard Sleeves just went over and ordered his Godlike 2 books, good for you, and came back. So I like to see. Give John your money and come back here. There's Robert Fraga joining us, of course, the brother of Dan Fraga. Richie Dupe, of course, says art to bear is priceless and is beyond time or monetary value. For sure he is. Clint L says, I can't wait to have money so I can back this. Oh. Iodine 74 says, Evening Geeks, I'm tardy, but that's okay because I started late anyway. Okay. So what have we got for the show today? Well, we've got... I picked up David Finch's art book, the Marvel Art of David Finch. I did an unboxing video. You want a preview of that, check my unboxing video when you get a chance. Here's one other thing that might be of interest to probably nobody in this chat, but I'm going to show you anyway. I put a book up on eBay, and it closes in about 2 hours. I dropped this off at San Diego. This is a Wonder Woman Agent of Peace number 14, the Burbank special edition that was it a giveaway for the unveiling of the Wonder Woman statue in Burbank? And so it's apparently pretty rare or scarce. So I took one of my better copies, dropped it off at CGC. It came back a 9.6, hoping for a 9.8, but what are you going to do? So I put it up on eBay, and as secretly a way to make money to buy more old comics. So I'm really trading this for perhaps some older book. It's in my very near future. But anyway, there it is. The rare. And it's a 9.6 of the Burbank edition. Jenny Friesen cover, who apparently is a tattoo artist. I didn't know that, but apparently that's what she is. And I don't know how she was discovered, and did several Wonder Woman covers for DC. All very cool. And then, of course, I drew it, so I put my name up there, you know. Wizard sleeves. Launching next week, but I don't have a firm date yet. So I will let you know as soon as I know. But I had to get the dumb thing put together. Scrambling to get artwork done. Scrambling, I tell you. Okay, well, that's enough. My eBay. You know, last week we were supposed to do our spotlight artist, but I had JC Vaughn on. And so we were talking, you know, about other things and never got to it. So we're going to be doing Coby Whitmore today. But before we do that, I've got a new segment that I just came up with. It's very strange indeed. I'm going to take the head off of the bust here so it doesn't fall off and break. Okay. That was loud. Sorry. Strange coincidences. Back in my Marvel days, which would have been before my DC days, which would have been after my cross-gen days. So what, the early 2000s maybe? I did a cover for a book called Hulk Destruction #4. And it was Hulk fighting the Abomination. So I came up with a concept and they liked it and I did the cover. And I had this cover with me at San Diego. And I was selling it. Now I'm not, because I thought, when am I ever going to get a Hulk cover again? So I'm keeping it. But one of the guys came up and looked at it and said, man, this looks a lot like that Mike Zeck cover. I went, what? I mean, I had no clue what he was talking about. Well, let me show you exactly what he was talking about. And you tell me, am I a ripoff artist, or is this just a strange coincidence? Yeah, baby, there it is. So Zeck did this Incredible Hulk annual, like, what would that have been? The early 90s, maybe? Late 80s? And then here I am, what, 20 years later, 15 years later? And I drew almost the exact same cover without ever having seen this Mike Zeck cover. And I swear I'd never seen it before, because when the guy talked about it, I was like, what are you talking about? And then I went and found it and I was like, I have never seen this before. Sometimes you'll forget about something and you'll see it and it'll trigger and you'll go, oh yeah, maybe I did subconsciously rip it off, but I didn't, because I'd never seen it before. Now, it's not exactly the same, but it's pretty close to being exactly the same. So it just goes to show you that this stuff can happen. And, when you're talking about characters that have been around since 1962, I believe the Hulk was 1962. And there's literally been, what, thousands probably, at least hundreds of Hulk covers over the years, that eventually you're going to get similar concepts going through two totally different people's heads. And to be honest with you, this cover was more inspired by some Michael Golden stuff I had seen, where he had, had characters either going up a hill or going down a hill kind of thing, or that angle to create more energy. And so that was kind of what inspired me to do this cover like this, but little did I know. Wizard Sleeve says, AA Ron, I found some sludge books today at my comic shop. That's great. Thank you. I wish I could say I'm getting like royalties or something for it, but I'm not. But it's cool that you pick them up. I hope you enjoy them. Yeah, it is just, there you go. That cover from Zach was 1986, and mine was probably 2006. So yeah, it was like 20 years later, and I had never seen this. It's a good cover. I mean, Zach's is, of course. But it's just bizarre to me. So I'm going to try every week to see if I can find stuff like this, because you never know if someone's swiping somebody or if it's just one of those bizarre coincidences, or in this case, a strange coincidence. So you have my word. I didn't rip it off. It's just a strange coincidence. All right. Who's dinging me? I'm telling you, man. Okay. Anyway, so there's our strange coincidence for this week. Draw what conclusions you will. But as George Washington famously once said, I cannot tell a lie. And I'm not lying. I had no idea. But now, let's take a look at our artist this week, shall we? Yeah, Coby Whitmore. I know you guys are going, who? What? I'm sure some of you know who he is. But let's take a look at some of his work. Yeah, this, of course, what you'd classify as a golden age of illustration, of course, which is where all the good stuff was happening. The only good stuff in illustration these days is in comics. There we go. Coby Whitmore, artist and illustrator. It looks like there's a book out on his work, and I guess I should probably pick it up because I really like this dude's stuff. The interesting thing about his work, though, is it's from that same sort of era as like Al Parker and some of these other guys, and they look very similar. You know, we talk about there being back in the day a Marvel House style. Of course, you know, Romita Buscema weren't exactly the same, obviously, but very similar in their approach. And Ross Andrew and guys like that drew at Marvel. It was just kind of this house style. There wasn't a, you know, Gene Colan was very unique. But other than him, a lot of the guys were trying to kind of fit into this sort of template that Kirby had laid out. And I wonder if that's kind of what we see in illustration too, is you see kind of guys from the same sort of school, or they came out of the same studios, and kind of ended up with similar styles. Look at this. This one's really nice. But anyway, here is the lowdown on Coby Whitmore. It says he's a gifted painter, obviously, with a penchant for race car driving. How about that? Coby Whitmore was born 1913, died in 1988, became known for his arresting variations on the boy meets girl theme. Born in Dayton, Ohio, he studied at the Dayton Art Institute and honed his skills as an apprentice to illustrator Hayden Sundblom. How about that? Many people went through Sundblom's studio in Chicago before joining the Charles E. Cooper studio in New York. Soon after, a steady stream of assignments for Ladies' Home Journal, McCall's Red Book, Cosmopolitan, and other women's magazines brought him public acclaim. So how about that? Nice little brief information on Coby Whitmore. But obviously very much a stylist as of some of these guys of this age. His women, of course, were fantastic, which is kind of dumb because if you're a really good illustrator, no matter what you're drawing, it's going to look pretty good. But it's always in the face, and I think he has very nice faces on his women. I don't know what he's using here. I'm assuming oils, but then again, this could be acrylic. It might be acrylic. It might be gouache. See, that's the thing. These guys were all sort of using the same mediums as well. So you have this similar styles and similar look, because I think if you go back and look at commercial art was all about trends. And so these guys would fit stylistically into a trend, I think. And although there was variations on their work, they felt similar. And again, this feels a lot like, this is a little bit more painterly than some of the other stuff, which is why I like this one. But again, Al Parker is the one that comes to mind immediately that makes me think, very similar. But the textures in here are, look how loose that is. Really effective, though. You really got to know what you're doing, you know? You got to be so confident in how you throw that paint down. That's probably why I have a great respect for these guys that paint a little bit looser, is because you know they're good. You know what they're doing. Now this is a little bit tighter here. This definitely looks like oils. That's the thing. These guys could paint in all these different mediums. It pisses me off too. They were also wonderfully classically trained. And, well, you just can't get education like this. Now you go to an art school and they put a computer in front of you. Which I understand the efficiency of digital art, don't get me wrong, and how effective it is for Hollywood, or also for what little commercial art there is out there, because it's so easy to make changes on a digital platform. But man, the respect I have for these guys that did it the old-fashioned way. And that's me. I'm old-fashioned. I want to do it the old-fashioned way. That's kind of a fun one here. I guess depending on what end of the joke you're in on, but look at that face, and the movement in the hair is so good. But I love that expression. Beautiful face. And you're getting, that kind of looks like Val Kilmer up there, doesn't it? So he's having a good old laugh. Now the question here is, there's two bikes there. There's another bike here. She took her clothes off to go swimming, yet she's surprised that this dude is there. So what am I to make of this? So who came with her, or where's his buddy? Because there's three bikes and only two of them. She's obviously surprised that he's there. He's getting a kick out of it, of course. So they didn't come together. Interesting story. What could it mean? My guess is this is an illustration from a story in the magazine. But I really like it. I just love her face. Look how loose that hair is, too. And yet, great energy to it. Great sense of movement. Really nice. Great body language. Look at it. We would all want to go in here and paint this water blue, right? But look, there's no blue in here, hardly. Oh, like brown, because you're getting the reflections from all this stuff. Very nice. I like that piece a lot. Now, this is interesting. This almost looks impressionistic. If you go back to the turn of the century. Oh, I'm sure he is. John and his horses. I'm trying to think of the artist, Sargent, maybe, who is more of a watercolor artist, but that is very fine artsy as opposed to commercial. It's really nice, though. And it's kind of interesting the choice he made here not to put more contrast in the sky and the dress. I mean, we don't lose the figure because of how he's put the, you know, the blue on this side of her and the clouds over here. So we don't lose her figure. But there's really not much value separation from the background to the foreground. A little bit, but not much. So it's very interesting. Let's take a look at this. Oh, that's small. This feels very 60s. Oh, my dog. Have mercy. I close the door, and then he comes up and scratches on the door. This looks very 60s, doesn't it? But I love the hairstyle. I actually love that style of dress, too. It's got a nice orange. That green in there is very interesting. All right, so there you go. There's a little look at Coby Whitmore. And again, I believe we have a book on Coby called Coby Whitmore, Artist and Illustrator. Maybe heading to Amazon might be the trick to seeing if that's if that is indeed still available or out of print, or because I have to admit I did do my homework. I should have gone and looked at that book to see if it was still available. But I was coloring last night, and I said, "Man, I got to get this show prepped." And so I was prepping very late. I had some leftovers from last week that didn't get used that then became part of this show. So, you know, I don't really have a good excuse. You'll have to forgive me. I have no good excuses. Let me share the, at risk of, inviting criticism. Now this isn't finished, but this is the color. This is the cover, the third cover that I'm finishing up. I will finish this up tonight. But I felt that I had too many covers with. This is for Wraith of God 3, obviously. I felt like I had too many Headless Horseman covers that were just focused on the Headless Horseman. And there is a witch in the story that's kind of an integral part to the story, along with another villain that is kind of the puppet master of everything that's going on, but he's not in it a ton. And so I thought, you know what, I'll do a witch-centric cover, get all the characters on there, and make it very different than the other options. Because I don't like it. To me, it's pointless to give you guys multiple cover options and make them all relatively the same cover, right? So there's got to be variants. So this is going to be the 1972 Marvel style box cover, and then we'll have an EC cover, and then we have the regular cover, and then of course the painted cover from the guest artist. Spaceman says, Aaron, do you use the box of 64 Crayolas when you color? Often, yes. And sometimes I'll make up my own colors. So 64 is, you know. Paul Taylor, don't lose your head. Dun, dun, dun. So yeah, so good times. I got to do some more detailing on her skirt. Funny thing is, inside baseball here, I wasn't going to have this leg exposed. I was going to have this dress maybe come down to here and blowing across like this. Let me try that again. was going to have this skirt come down to here and blowing across like this, but then we wouldn't have been able to see Esther back there, and I wanted to get her in there. So I could have put her, I suppose, over here, but this seemed like the best spot. So then I had basically had to give her a shorter skirt on the front so that we could see Esther back there. So yeah. But this is a very sort of Gil Kane-y pose. Feels very Gil Kane-ish, which again, Gil Kane did like 90% of those box covers from 72 Marvel. So it's only appropriate, I guess. So anyway, like I said, I got some work to do on this. Not done yet, but it will be done tonight. And then I can start piecing together that campaign and get it ready to rock and roll next week. So. Geek Easy says crayons, USMC boxed food. Yeah, Esther ends up tripping a lot. But that is only on the cover. Inside, she does a lot of good. She helps the Wraith. She's there, and she's, again, they're a team. They work together. She's getting more proficient at monster killing and hunting as the series progresses. So expect her to play an active role in this as well. But anyway, pretty exciting. There'll also be, I'm going to make it a stretch goal, but it's one we better hit, for the David Williams backup story. One of my characters called Empirus. There'll be a backup story. The origin of Empirus will be the backup story. David's got some artwork done for that. That'll also be premiering on the campaign page when it goes live. So there's a lot of fun stuff to check out when this campaign actually goes live here in about a week. Creative Face says, I love the Wraith's pose, which is leaning me towards this cover, but the others are great too. Thank you very much, April. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't have a cover with a really big shot of the Wraith on it. And so that was another reason I went this direction on this cover. So, and it has more energy than the other one I was going to use. And actually the witch is going to have some dialogue up here. So this is going to be like the 1970s dialogue cover Marvel. So you'll get a kick out of it, I think. If any of you can remember that far back. Sean Ellens goes, she lost a shoe. She's kind of a grungy witch, man. She's only got one shoe left, but she does some like magic beads around this ankle. So maybe it's a fashion statement. Or what if she was Cinderella in a past life? A lot of things to think about there. All right, let's keep this going. And what do we got here? Oh, let's take a look at my top 5 of this week, shall we? This was a fun one. Yeah, leave it to grumpy old Aaron to pick his 5 most hated comic book characters. Interesting. This was a lot harder than you would think. But I had to not only find characters that were lame, I had to find characters that I had some sort of animus towards. So that's how I came up with this list. And the funny thing about this, if I did this again a year from now, I might have, well, a couple of them would be the same, but there's probably some other ones I might, trade out. So anyway, let's take a look at the curmudgeonly list that I put together here. Number 5. This is a villain, I guess. One of those kind of villain, kind of good guy, misunderstood, kind of whatever. A lot of my stuff comes from Spider-Man because that was my main reading growing up. But I remember this Rocket Racer. Okay. Rocket Racer. This dude, first of all, his costume's ridiculous, but he's on a skateboard. There's one thing I cannot stand is pop culture references in, I mean, it's one thing to make a little joke or something, but that dictate a character's design. And because if this doesn't scream lame 70s, I don't know what does. You want characters that are timeless so that when something falls out of fashion, their success isn't dependent on whatever that thing is that's fallen out of favor in pop culture. So you don't do stuff based on whatever's popular in popular culture at the moment. At least I don't. I mean, take a look at Aladdin. There's that whole scene where Robin Williams as the genie is doing all these sort of, like Jack Nicholson references, and then Arsenio Hall. It's like, does anybody even know who Arsenio Hall is anymore? It's like, they're funny at the time because they were completely relevant when the movie came out. But a couple of years down the road, you're looking at that stuff going, what? And let's be honest, Rocket Racer was stupid no matter if it was pop culture reference or not. But yeah, I was forced to read this issue because I was a Spider-Man collector and reader, and I thought this was pretty stinking lame. Well, yeah, his costume was at least a little bit better. Oh, well, maybe you're onto something. Plus, how does a guy get superpowers by skating? Come on, he can't beat up Spider-Man. At least I could go off for an entire show on Spider-Man villains that I think are stupid. He has some of the greatest villains. Him and Batman have the two best, rogues galleries, but both of them still have a bunch of lame ones too. And this is super lame. So Rocket Racer makes my number 5. Let's take a look at number 4. Oh, don't get me started on this guy. But I'm going to get started on this guy. This, of course, one of the dumbest characters of all time, Wildcat. Now, I don't have a problem with the character himself in that, he's an ex-boxer turned rough and tumble superhero, I guess. I don't know. That's okay. But look at this costume. Who puts a cat face? A tough guy wears a cat face. Are you kidding me? This has got to be one of the lamest characters designs I have ever seen in my life. And because the character design is so lame, I don't even care about the writing aspect, the character himself and what he's about and what motivates him. If you're going to wear a costume like this, buddy, you are out. You're out. You're not getting in the Justice League. No one's even going to be friends with you in the superhero scene. It's like, oh, here comes Wildcat. Are you going to tell him or am I? So lame. Why would you do that? Why would you design it? Couldn't you do like Black Panther's cool, right? He doesn't have like a cat face. Come on, man. I hate to sound like Joe Biden, but come on, man. They say he likes his claws on his feet. Stippling says Ordway did the best job doing Wildcat's mask. No one did it better than him. Well, okay. But does it even matter? Is there a good way to do this? I just don't think there is. Just, look at Marcus Killer who's unsubscribing. But make sure after you unsubscribe that you resubscribe. It'll make me look like I got more action going on. Clint L says, there are cat-faced Black Panther costumes. Are there? Not this lame, there aren't. Come on. Yeah, I'm not sure who drew this. I'm not saying that this is bad art or anything. I'm just saying that Oh, come on. Oh my gosh. Anyway, all right. So there you go. Wildcat. Number 3. Okay, now I will say that they did a pretty fair job of saving this character down the road, but I mean, you want to talk about again pop culture references? Disco roller skating pop singer. Are you kidding me? I remember seeing the first issue on the stands when I was a kid, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" That's exactly what I said, and it was just like that. Everybody in the store was like, "What?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" That's all I could say. And I continue to say it. Now, she did get a facelift in the 90s, with the headband and the kind of the Jim Lee look, and that was okay. But the fact that she's a pop singer, come on, man. And the roller skating and she dazzles people. It's like, oh, God, so bad. Clint L looks like he agrees with me. He says, Dazzler is lame. She belongs on the list. Okay, thank you. Marcus Killer, of course, saying Frank Springer drew her with huge boobs. Well, there is that. People are saying that Taylor Swift should be cast as her. That makes me hate her more. Well, if you think about it, Taylor Swift is like the perfect casting for Dazzler. Oh my gosh. I don't like, to me, that's like self-reflexive in a way, because even though comics are not the music industry, I kind of take all the art industries and kind of lump them together. Like when they made Captain America a comic book artist, that was like too break down the fourth wall, ridiculous, and I hated it. When they do superheroes like, remember the old Ultraverse hero, Hard Case? I never liked Hard Case because he was like Hollywood. He was an actor being a superhero, and it was behind the scenes Hollywood stuff. And I was just like, I don't know, doing a fantasy story about someone living in a fantasy world to begin with. And it just was, I don't know, that stuff just annoys me. It's like also trying to make the NFL football sports hero stuff, sports. They just, to me, are like, no, I don't want any of that stuff in my comics. So again, that's just me. So anyway, Dazzler makes it in at number 3. Number 2. This was difficult because there's so many characters I hate. But I'm going to go with this one because I felt this was extra stupid. Now, I understand that this was kind of a satire type story, but maybe as an adult, you kind of get the joke. But back then, this was Prez, the first teen president. Oh my gosh. This is why DC was getting their butts kicked by Marvel constantly. This is so ridiculous. This is so lame. And like I said, I don't care if it had biting satire in it. I mean, come on, man. Oh, shoot. I don't even know what to say about this. This is so lame. But yeah, I remember seeing this on the newsstands and going, come on, man. Apparently I said that a lot at the local 7-Eleven because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But here it is. Prez, the first teen president, because every teenager wants to be president. And wouldn't it be cool if we did a comic book about a teenager that was actually president? Wouldn't that be great? It's no wonder that nobody, or it's amazing that anybody bought this book. Oh, wait, nobody bought this book. That's why it got canceled. But it kept resurfacing. They did something more recently with this character too. Again, probably trying to make it biting satire. But even if the satire is like really, really good, if you can't get someone to actually buy the comic and read it, it doesn't matter how good it is. And this is just lame. And look at this. Look at this cultural appropriation right here. Unbelievable. And monkey appropriation. Holy smoke. There's all kinds of animals here. Is he Dr. Doolittle? What is going on here? Looks like we got more cultural appropriation right here. Unbelievable. But it is approved by the Comics Code, so you can feel good about it when your kid brings this home. If my kid ever brought a Prez comic home, he'd be grounded. That's all I'm saying. So anyway, that's what I think. Matthew Mumma says, I would pass on Prez. Me too. James says, Prez is still a better choice than Kamala, though. Indeed. He's the ultimate, Prez is the ultimate teen president without any agenda. You know, he doesn't, or I shouldn't say that, without any policies. I shouldn't say that either. Plans for things that actually, because Kamala's got policies and she's got plans, but they're not good. So anyway, there you go. Did Alpha Force make the list? No, it didn't, because that's a team. If I had like my most hated teams, definitely. But here we go. What could number one be? How many people am I going to offend with this one? We'll see. This goes way back to a time before my time. A classic character. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Robin the Boy Wonder. What? I hate Robin. Now, no child or adult should be running around in that costume ever, under any circumstances. Oh my goodness. Now, when they, in the 90s, when they finally put pants on him, it was a little bit better. I was like, okay, well, now I don't feel, uncomfortable looking at this character. But man, this is what started the teen sidekicks sensation. And I understand why they did it in the 40s, because they wanted stuff that was more relatable to little kids, although I don't know, in my mind, when I was a kid, I always looked up to the adult characters, because that's what I wanted to grow up to be like. I wanted, I never was interested in kid superheroes like Teen Titans and things like that, because I was like, okay, I am a kid. I want to grow up and, kick butt like Batman and Captain America or whatever. I wasn't looking for another kid superhero that I could identify with. So anyway, I don't know, but that was the thought process, right? And I'm sure it worked. Obviously, Robin's been around forever and still is with us. But my hatred for Robin extends to Nightwing, because he's still Robin. It's just like, God. And then I was so happy when Jason Todd got killed by the Joker. I'm one of the guys that voted. It cost me 50 cents every time I voted. I didn't care. It's like, vote yes, kill, 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 kill. Because I wanted Robin gone forever. I've never paid money to vote to have a character killed before, except for Robin. So that must show you how much I despise this character. Very close. The NFL Super Pro is very close to making this list. So like I said, when they put pants on him and he felt a little bit more appropriately dressed, I could tolerate him. I will say this though, the Carrie Kelly Robin I actually like, because it seems like Robin's costume works much better on a girl than it does on a dude. And maybe that's my problem. I don't know. But wow. Of course, based on Robin Hood, that's where the whole idea came from. And the name Robin is like, again, I know they were trying to emulate Robin Hood, but it's like, Robin is not a tough guy superhero name. And I know guys that are named Robin, and that's totally fine, Rob, whatever. But a robin is like a bird. It's a gentle bird. It's not a superhero. Now, if it was Bloody Robin, maybe, maybe that would push it over the top. I don't know. Paul Taylor, I actually bought Black Lightning #1, but the Afro mask, I was just talking to David Williams about this, that his mask came off with his Afro, which I thought was kind of funny. That was kind of a strange choice. So anyway, there you go. Well, okay, but you're talking about when Tim Drake was Robin, they gave him pants, didn't they? Changed his costume and made him more superhero looking and less ice skating looking. Anyway. What is Batman hanging around with a 13-year-old kid for? I don't know. I was never comfortable with any of this. Anyway, there you go. There are my top 5 most hated comic book characters, but that doesn't mean this list can't evolve and change. So we'll see. We'll see if how the evolution takes me. No, that's not true. Paul Taylor says Aaron also hates big brothers. I have a big brother. I don't hate him. I love my big brother. But neither one of us dresses like that. I can tell you that right now. So, underwear on the outside is trending. I never, people always said that it was like underwear on the outside. I never really thought of it in those terms. I just thought it was like, a colorful design element. But in some ways it's silly. I mean, Captain America didn't have that. They did give him, they put the line in there, but there was still blue. It was so the same color as his leggings. So you got the idea he was wearing pants, not shorts over his pants. And, Batman was always sort of, in Superman, but are you going to tell Superman he looks, looks funny, looks weird? Yeah, you don't want to tell people that they're going to kick your butt. Robin, on the other hand, I don't think a 13-year-old kid is kicking my butt, regardless of what they say, especially if he's wearing little booties and booty shorts. Anyway. Okay. Well, this show is moving right along, which is probably a good thing because we know that there's a big launch over on Ethan's channel for The Love of Malin, and we don't want to forget about John Malin on this day that he's launching Godlike 2. I'm sure he's tearing it up right now. So you guys don't forget to back Big John's next installment of Godlike. Some people call it Godlike 2 Electric Boogaloo. I'm not sure if that's what the subtitle is, but I do know it's Godlike 2. So you want to make sure you back that today. Okay. What else do I got? I thought I had something else. I mean, I know I have something else, but I'm trying to remember, did I have something else besides the something else that I know that I have? Let's see. I can't do Shelly knows because Shelly's not here. And thank you for all the well wishes for Shelly. She appreciates it very much. And she's got a lot of procedures going on back to back to back. So hopefully by the end of the year, she'll be in much better shape and able to rejoin the show as a regular occurring personality. Yeah, there you go. You guys, if you're wearing it on the outside, it's not underwear. Okay. That's all I'm saying. Jeez. Okay. Well, I guess it's time to do this. And this is an interesting week. So I might be ranting and raving a little bit on this for a while. So we better get started on it early just in case. Here we go. All right, we're going under the water, the depths of the mighty ocean this week. And then we're coming back up to land. So it's going to be, we're underwater, then we're above water. So we're all over the place on this one. But, oh boy. All right, you guys, how do you know? Megalodons are obviously always a topic of conversation, and because the ocean is so vast, the possibility, I suppose, is there that they could be there. But what are our chances that they're going to wash up on shore? I'm not sure what the purpose of this is, but then we go back to the Megalodon here. September 2023 on the beach. What do you think? I kind of dig the design here because he's so fat, right? It's like he got beached and he's so fat he couldn't get back in the water. Okay, so why were these government things? I can't play the sound because I don't want to get struck. But so according to this video, this guy found this megalodon beached, right? And of course, there's no record of it anyplace. And so speculation, I love how they say some people or some cryptozoologists speculate. Okay, that's in other words, that's Aaron on his Sunday show making stuff up. Speculates that the government removed this before anyone else could photograph it. I'd love to think that this is like, see, that's where the government thing comes in. That the government agents came and Paul Taylor, no birds are on the carcass. That's unusual. Indeed, it is. Looks more like Jabba Jaws, not to be confused with Jabber Jaws. Remember that cartoon from the 70s? Yeah, so I'd like to think that this is an elaborate, practical special effect that someone actually made this and put it on the beach. But there's no way. This is obviously CGI'd in there. But it's not bad. I mean, the design, you could question the design, the big fat shark, but I actually think it looks pretty decent for, a CGI effect, which, especially they did it with a moving camera, which makes it, I would assume, makes it a little bit more tricky to do that. Citizen Ronan says, I've seen a few of those on the beach down here in Florida laying on towels. Spaceman just says, hey, so fake. That's a real shark right there, but that's why we're not showing that, because we're not all about reality in this segment. All right, now this is real, but I found it real interesting. This is is it a blunt nose shark? No, I can't remember. You guys will know. But I found this really interesting. This is actual. So they're in this sub, like one of those deep sub things, like these dudes here, and they're filming this critter. His teeth, he looks like he lost his teeth, like he's an old man shark. This is big. I don't know how big these guys get, but this is pretty freaky, man. Look at that. They didn't say how big they thought this was, but that looks like a freaking big shark, like 20 footer or more. What are these things called? Now Jeff says it's a Greenland shark, and I don't think that's what they called it, though. I thought they called it like a bull-nosed or snub-nosed or blah blah blah. Well, there you guys are all saying it's a Greenland shark, so that's probably, I don't disagree with you because I know those things are humongo. That'd be pretty cool. to like witness this. If you're down in one of those little subs, although I'd be a little, I don't know, a little nervous. How sturdy is that sub? Look at that thing, man. It's a 20-footer, 25, 3 tons of them. Look at that eye. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. This shot right here just kind of shows you how huge that thing is. Very cool. All right. Okay, now this. You think some of the Bigfoot videos I have are bad? Look at this. Okay, they're talking about megalodons, right? That's pretty cool. Look at this. Come on, man. Supposedly this whale is breaching and this shark comes up and grabs it. I'm glad they have the red arrow that are pointing so we don't miss it. I love how the whale just goes limp. It doesn't fight or anything. Like that's supposed to sell us on it. Is that freeze frame? That's a real shot right there. Where the guy caught a tuna and the great white came and took the tuna just as he was hauling it onto the boat. It's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah. So this is what we call bad CGI. This is a failed attempt at convincing me of anything. This is just bad. But what if it were real? I love how it just comes like straight up and the thing just like it's already dead. The whale's just like brr. Citizen Rana says that's some sci-fi channel level effects. Absolutely. It's terrible. Sequential Treasure says Sharknado films are more realistic, especially when he takes the chainsaw and the thing opens its mouth and he jumps into it and just saws him straight in half. It's incredible. All right, now how about this? You guys have probably all seen this, but I thought it was worth revisiting because this is interesting. Okay, this is the Google Maps image that in 2016, there it is for you. And there's this giant shark creature that can be seen from space. Now, certainly it easily could have just been put in there. It could just be, you know, a reflection or a shadow in the water. Or is it proof of a megalodon? Have you guys seen this one? This clip right there. I think I've shown it on this show before. That someone took, you know, it's megalodon, but I mean, it could be anything. It looks legit, but it's got to be. It doesn't look like a shark because his eye is right here and his fin is right there. I don't think their fins are that close to their head. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. What about this? What about that guy right there? It's is it fake or is it real? Oh, someone's saying it could be a cloud shadow. The big creature of oceans, remember we hunted them all. Go back to the clouds. Could be. I'm not sure. I remember when this came out and I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. But again, you have no way of knowing if anybody faked it or if it's a, you know, a cloud shadow, like you said, or something else. So, All right. Now this I found really kind of cool until the end. Well, I don't want to spoiler. You guys tell me what you think here. September 9th, 2021, Massachusetts. So these people on a leisurely stroll. And then this. Now that looks, okay, that's not the same thing. I hit it with the intercut. Okay, so that looks fairly legit, right? Now look at the people on the boat. Are they really looking at it? So this drone got it, and then it swam away. And then here we go, folks. Here's the picture they put up of the face of this thing that they allegedly got a picture of. Oh, so they had me going until this. And you're like, dude, seriously, if you're gonna do this on your video, at least make it look good. This looks like a Sid and Marty Krofft character. Are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, the fins backwards, says Jiminy Cricket. It looks like a wolf's head on a shark's body. Where is it? Yeah, it looks like a wolf's head on a shark's body. Like, oh, there you go. Sonic the Shark. So you've got, I mean, come on. I mean, did someone not tell the person? It's like, no, dude, don't do the close-up. Don't do the close-up. Because I think what they've got going in the water is, this is probably fake as well, would be my guess. But it's interesting. And it's believable enough that you're like, oh, that's cool. What is that? And you're like, oh, yeah, I'm into that. I'm into that. Then on the video, the guy says, and the last picture they got was this. Oh, my gosh. So anyway, and he's not buying it for a second. So, man, you got to do better than that. You had me going. They had me going. And then this. Wow. Okay, that's high quality right there, folks. That's what you tune into this show for, is to see stuff just like that. All right, now, okay, this is gonna. All right, now we're going back to Bigfoot, and this. If you're out there in the audience and you want to know why am I so stinking cynical about this stuff, you're about to see why. Okay, we're going back to the Patterson-Gimlin film, the original Bigfoot film, but allegedly they've discovered new evidence and stuff in the film itself that lends credence to the fact of it being real and not fake. All right, here we go. All right, so here we have the Patterson-Gimlin film, or a scene from it. Okay, so let's just run this. Now, what they are claiming is that after close study, that they've discovered a head of another Bigfoot back here. Okay. There's a second Bigfoot. All right. Now, look at the close-up. We're getting the close-up right here. I will let them explain this, which they will do visually. So take a good look at that. You're saying, okay, the original and AI upscaled, like that really helped. Thank you so much for that clarification. And here it comes. These are the eyes. That's the nose. See, they're even saying that. So it's the brow bridge right there. That's where the hair is. Nose, eyes. Is that his chin? You guys, this is the bottom of that tree log or whatever it is. This is like looking up into a cloud and seeing a rabbit. Okay, we don't really believe a rabbit is in the cloud. We just say, you know what, that cloud kind of looks like a rabbit. Okay, where's his body? This is the tree trunk right there. Look at that. And yet they're saying it's like political gaslighting. They're showing you this and telling you not to believe your eyes, but to believe what they're telling you, which is, well, you can clearly see his body. No, you can't. You can clearly see tree stuff down here. What is that, his chin? And okay, let's just say this is a dude standing back there. How is that Bigfoot? He's got a nose, eyes. He's got Elvis's hairdo. Okay. Sideburns right here. And a chin that sticks out here. Okay. So they're telling us, cryptozoologists and the whatnot are telling us to believe that this is another Bigfoot in the background, and that helps verify the authenticity of this dude in a costume, because there's actually more than one. If anything, this is a guy's head. It's not a Bigfoot head. So I've got people online trying to convince me that this is a Bigfoot's face back there. And that is why I am so stinking cynical, is because they're not saying, ooh, that looks kind of weird. What do you think that is? They are going out of their way to try and convince me that that is Bigfoot, another Bigfoot's face back there. So apparently he's growing out of the tree, is what they're trying to tell me. I'm glad they circled in red, because we don't want to miss it. Where are his legs? Where are his arms? It's like something out of the Lord of the Rings, right? It's like, what are those tree guys called? Ents or something like that. Henry Jeremick says, total crap. Combination of shadows and archetypal image always looks like a face, so they say it's nothing as usual. Yes, I agree. And yet, now Captain Bipto is onto something. That could be Lou Ferrigno's head. Yeah, there's a kid's show with the bad guy has like this big long chin. It's a really creepy kid's show. I can't remember what it's called. That's right, Ronan. Elvis didn't die. He just became a Bigfoot. You heard it here first. Ents. Thank you very much. Everybody's giving me the Lord of the Rings, the Ents. Is that an Ents? So this is what we call cryptozoological gaslighting. This is unbelievable. Don't believe your eyes, folks. Believe. Oh my goodness. What I'm happy most about, though, is that I am qualified to be a cryptozoologist, all the studying I've done, because there are no qualifications. It's not a real thing. Anybody can be a cryptozoologist. And I'm now claiming the title. In fact, I'm going to get a plaque made. I study cryptozoids, and therefore I am a cryptozoologist. Thank you very much. I'm going to start a YouTube channel where I'm going to lecture on cryptozoology and the wonders of it all. Someone needs to put Bigfoot in an Elvis sparkly pantsuit. Now we're on to something. So there you go. There's my sort of, I think, justified, cynical approach to Bigfoot and all that goes with him. I should lecture on debunking cryptos. I got to get on the moon landing, though. I listened to the radio spot. I thought I was listening to Glenn Beck, maybe. And they had some guy on there from one of these space magazine type things, and like a legit scientific magazine. And he addressed the issue of why would we continually, if we could go to the moon in 1968, why can't we? Why is it so hard now? Why were we able to do it then and now we can't do it now? And he had a really, I thought, a very sort of interesting explanation for that. Give you a little visual aid here. And basically, he said something. He said 5% of the entire budget for the country was going into space exploration at the time. And they did 6 trips, right? And then it became a matter of, what are we gaining from doing this and spending all of this money? And so he said that there's 2 reasons why we haven't got back to the moon and why it's so hard to get back to the moon. One, budget. There's no interest. There hasn't been in going back. There's no reason to go back to justify the cost. And then, I guess those are hand in hand, right? There's no reason and then no money. And that's the 2 biggest reasons why they haven't gone back. Although now he's saying that NASA and other space organizations like SpaceX, and I think there's one other one that's sort of kind of thrown their hat in the ring for this, is that the reason to go back is to actually put a station on the moon. And he said there was various reasons, satellites, military advantage reasons why you would go and do that. So they're expecting this to happen again in the next 20 years. So that'll be interesting to see. But Paul, he's a resident biologist, so he knows a little bit about science, says Carl Sagan was upset we didn't do more space exploration. NASA was spending all their budget on stuff in Earth's orbit instead. And if you think about it, 5% of the entire national budget was in the space program in the 60s because it was so important to beat the Russians. And so if you look at it from that standpoint, you go, well, yeah, maybe that does make sense. You know, I mean, I'm skeptical of just about everything, but if they had only gone once, I'd be more skeptical of the fact that maybe they didn't go at all, because there was reason to fake it, right? If you're in a race against the communists, kind of like we are right now, we're in a race against the communists, but that's a political race. But anyway, so if you're in a race against the commies to get to the moon first, and it's a, if nothing else, bragging rights, right? And you're in this Cold War, you can see the United States sinking a ton of money into it to make it happen. But then if they couldn't do it, you could also see reason why they would fake it, right? So they could still claim they got there first and blah, blah, blah. But I have a trouble with it that they went 5 more times. You fake it once, but are they really going to push it that often? Because the more you fake it, and then you got Apollo 13, which that whole thing was made up, that they were, okay, let's make it seem like we're going to the moon, but then everything's going to go wrong and we'll save your lives and blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm skeptical. Let me just put it that way. Until someone can give me some sort of definitive proof, I'm going to kind of accept the fact that we've actually been on the moon and that we haven't gone back because there's no reason to go back and there's no money to go back. There you go. Paul Taylor, once again, public interest in going to the moon waned after the Russians lost the space race. Look at that. Anti-entity. My aunt helped build spacesuits. Well, the reason we haven't got back is Kubrick is dead. That's really good. Oh, my goodness. Of course, they're also, and I think it'll be interesting to see what Elon Musk is able to get done at SpaceX. And are they going to bury NASA, SpaceX? Because look at whatever they were going to use, which I believe was Boeing manufactured through a NASA contract, whatever shuttle spacecraft they were going to go up to get the people off the space station. Now they're going to use a SpaceX ship because there's some inherent problems with the Boeing one. And so this could be opening the door for SpaceX to suddenly become the prominent, a creator of space venturing vessels. So that'll be interesting to see if we get into another space race here again very soon. Yeah, he eventually wants to get to Mars, but I think they're looking at like doing a moon station first and then using that as a springboard to Mars. You want to talk about money, if it could even be done. And how long does it take to get there? I mean, how many people are going to sacrifice a decade or 20 years of their life to do that? I guess, if adventure is your middle name, perhaps. Geek Easy, of course, saying the problem with the Boeing one is that it's built by Boeing. Now, we have some Boeing employees in the chat. Like Leg Kick here is going to get mad at me. Aaron, they never mentioned Boeing, and they had a partner, Lockheed Martin. Okay. Well, that's probably, this is very, very true that, again, it just goes to show you how if somebody like Boeing has to partner with Lockheed Martin to put something together to do this, it's an expensive proposition, right? And what are they actually getting out of it? I mean, obviously it's some sort of government contract, but I can't imagine how much that costs to make that stuff. Geeky says it's okay. They're on strike now. So, okay. Of course, he's referring to Boeing employees. So, wow. My view number right now is 666. That scared me there for a second, but now we're up to 670, so I feel better. Thank you. Matthew Momo says it's the beginning of Starfleet. Possibly. Test Chimp wants to know if Elon can get to Uranus. Oh my goodness. Captain Bipto says, I have a problem with the rover's comm dish facing directly upwards. I don't know enough about it to. This. You look at this stuff and everybody's like, look at this. This looks like aluminum foil, and I know it had to be probably pretty lightweight, right? So I don't really understand all the ins and outs of it, but I just think as a conspiracy theory, it's pretty an elaborate one that would take quite a bit of doing to pull off, and doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Like I said, 1 trip, I'll buy it. 6 trips, probably not going to buy it. But anyway, we'll see. We will see. Maybe they got up there and didn't want to reveal the pictures that the Earth was actually flat. So we got that conspiracy too. So anyway, well, that's what I got about cryptids and strange things and all these weird goings-ons and everything like that. I hate to, my goodness, with such a huge audience, this is like a record audience for me right now. I hate to end the show with that many people watching. I feel like I've got friends. Let's do a little show and tell. That's going to be the main cover for Wraith of God Fear Hollow #3, launching in a week. I still may tweak that a little bit. I just had to get colors done so that I could get them up on the campaign page. But that'll be one cover option, right? And let me show you the... now there's also what I like to call the EC variant. Those of you who are old timers. This is the EC variant. Might do a little tweaking on the colors on this as well, but that's pretty much it. So you've got the main Wraith of God cover, then you've got this EC variant, and of course the one I'm still working on, which those of you who are just joining and kind of interested to see what that might look like, it looks something like this. No, this isn't finished. Still working on the colors, but it features the witch that's in this story as well. So you've got the witch, you got the headless horseman, you've got the mysterious villain from the Wraith's past that we got a little 2-page sequence of him in Blood Hunters. He's showing up again in a little bigger way this way, but we're teasing him a little bit more. We're not going to reveal too much about him just yet, but we're getting there. But he's in it as well as this. So there's a lot of villainy, a lot of bad guys, a lot of evil that needs to be squashed by Wraith and Esther. We're going to get some tidbits of his more of his origin, more information on the Wraith's past and what shaped him. More soap opera drama between the relationship between Wraith and Esther, and then just plenty of action and plenty of monster hunting and creepy goings on in Fear Hollow. So those are the 3 covers that you'll see. Of course, I'll put the trade dress on here, and it'll all be dressed up to look like basically a Marvel book from 1972. So that'll be fun. So we got a lot of nostalgia. We got the EC going all the way back to the 50s, the Marvel cover from the 70s, the regular cover, and then, of course, the painted cover by my guest artist who did a wonderful job. And I can't wait to show you guys that one. There'll be some other stuff. There may be a set of poker chips, so be on the lookout for that. And when I say there may be a set of poker chips, there will be a set of poker chips. There's going to be a new limited edition Wraith of God print. This one's actually 11 by 17. It's not one of the mini prints. It's a 11 by 17 print, so it's a full size, signed and numbered, of course. There'll once again be another Wraith sketchbook that's sort of, the smaller format, includes all the layouts that I end up doing for the book, so you can look at the book and then look at the layouts that went to designing the page. So it's a lot of fun. It's not all that expensive. They're like, I think, $15, and they all come signed and numbered. So they're sort of a collector's item as well as a practical art guide if you're into the behind the scenes work that goes into one of these books. Anyway, so there's the 3 covers. And like I said, the 4th one, you'll just have to wait for. Let's take a look at what's happening with my I got so many windows open, I'm getting lost here. There I am. All right, let's take a quick look and see what's happening with my eBay auction right now. Yeah, baby. Okay. So it ends in 34 minutes and 18 seconds. This, of course, is my copy of, actually I have a couple, but this is one of the copies of mine that I had that I sent in to get graded at CGC. Came back a 9.6, put it up on eBay. It's now at $596.90. So apparently this is a rare book. And I had no idea it was. Someone told me at San Diego, I was going to sell these for $5 a piece, the ones that I had. And the guy's like, "Are you out of your mind? You know how much these are worth?" I'm like, "No." And so he told me, and then now I've learned my lesson. But so I actually never sold any for $5. I had them in a box for $5 a piece, and no one bought any because apparently they didn't know what they were. And so anyway, so I got one of them graded. Thought, because I sold one raw, it went for $530. So this one's graded. So how high will it go? We've got 33 minutes. I'm kind of excited because don't tell Shelly, but I'm going to take the money for this and I'm going to invest it in another comic. So I'm just trading. That's all I'm doing. So I'm feeling pretty good. I just bought a Fantastic Four book. See, I can't show anything on the show because I've got to do my unboxing videos. And so I got to save it for my unboxing video. So when I get it, I'll share it. But I'm always on the lookout for a deal. And so this is pretty exciting. I was hoping to get to $1,000. I don't think it's going to get there, but it could get to maybe 700. That'd be all right. That could get me a pretty nice book. Well, if I got 700 though, I'd have to put some into my daughter's college fund. Kids, they ruin all your fun. All right, so there it is. Run over to eBay and get your bid in the last half hour as we're waiting for this sucker to 32 minutes to go, folks. 32 minutes. We'll be keeping my eye on that. I want to make sure everybody's aware also that John Malin, of course, is launching Godlike 2 today, even as we speak. So you want to get over there and back that if you haven't already. And keep your eyes open for Wraith of God 3, Fear Hollow. It's going to be big. So it's going to be at least 64 pages, probably more. I haven't finished the script yet, so the page count it'll at least be 64. And one of the stretch goals is David Williams' backup story featuring the origin of Empirus. Those of you who've been following me since my launch of Empire Comics and Wraith of God will remember you got a sticker of Empirus with the very first book as a stretch goal. So he is a character in my Lopresti verse, and we're going to get his origin story courtesy of David Williams. It's a kind of a cosmic superhero type story, which is right up David's alley. So I'll be previewing pages from that on the campaign page as well. So there's going to be a lot of good stuff to go check out just out of curiosity, if nothing else. Now, in the interim, you'll find a link in the description of this video to take you right to the early sign up for Wraith of God 3 Fear Hollow. All you have to do is put your email address in there and you're on the mailing list, and that qualifies you to get for free the very special Art to Bear Garbage Man trading card. You've probably seen the piece if you followed his campaign at all. It was one of the ones he was going to add on. Here it is right here. I was like desperately trying to find it while I was just talking. But this is the black and white version, but you will get this as an early sign up trading card, and it's really cool. Look at that Art did. And so I'll get this colored more than likely by me. And that will be a trading card that you can only get if you sign up early. So sign up early. It doesn't cost anything. Sign up early. Follow the link. Sign up early. It's what any good American would do. Isn't that cool? I love Art's art. I love Art's art. I do. So anyway, that's the early sign up card. Wait a minute, Shelly in the chat? There are people talking to Shelly, but I don't see her in the chat. Hey, Aaron, chat. Yeah, okay. I'm looking. For my thing to say, don't tell Shelly that I'm going to spend the money on a comic book. You guys are all telling Shelly. Tell you I can't trust anybody. Okay. All right, guys, that's really all I've got. Usually I dig into the old flat files a little bit, but Paul Taylor, Canadian, $10. Thank you very much, Paul. Almost forgot about you. Entertaining show as usual, Aaron. You can use groups you hate as a future topic for the purple Hino wheel. Bigfoot in the white sparkly outfit could be fat Bigfoot. Are we talking like fat Elvis and skinny Elvis? You might be onto something there. And Stealth sends me a super sticker. I have to go through so many layers to find that super sticker, but I appreciate it very much, Stealth. You're a fine gentleman, and I appreciate it very much. Yes. We need to talk about doing one of my sequential art showcase videos next month. Can't think of a better person to spotlight for Halloween. Okay, absolutely. As long as it's not on Saturday. College football Saturday, unless it's a week that Nebraska's not playing. Nebraska's 3-0, by the way, if you're interested. Okay. All right, Matthew Momo is he mums the word, Matthew. All righty, everybody. Thank you guys for joining me. I greatly appreciate it. I could not do it without you. Please hit the like and subscribe. We have huge numbers tonight. So please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do it. This is the kind of fun stuff we do every Sunday, usually around 3:30 Pacific time, but I had my kids and the grandson stop by sort of at last second, and so it kind of delayed the start of today's show. But usually run about 3:30. Check out Graybeards also if you're inclined to watch a really fun drawing show at 2 o'clock Pacific time on Wednesdays. Professionals, Tuesday nights ranges anywhere from 7 to 8 Eastern time. Of course, Comicsgate Kings every Monday night has usually a full load of characters. And again, don't forget about our good friend John Malin's Godlike 2 launching today. So you want to get in there and back that as well. And I probably will end up on his channel at some point this evening. So anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate you very much. Couldn't do it without you. And we'll see you next time right here on Aaron Live. Good night, everybody.